All right, our racers are getting ready to start here, so we'll kick off in a few seconds. All right, here we go. Getting a little text mashing here going on. You'll give us a chance to introduce ourselves. We've got 3 commentators for these 2 races today. I am Mutsky.
I'm Mages1.
And we got the Sabin here somewhere. He's around.
Sorry, Mike was good. Yeah, I'm the Sabin, sorry.
It's cool, man. It's cool.
So here we go. We got all of our players leaving out of Link's bed here at a seconds, and they're going to be making their way up to the castle where they can retrieve Zelda very shortly.
Retrieve Zelda, receive a sword, and retrieve the boomerang.
All of these players, I believe, have completed at least 1 match in the tournament so far. So we'll see how all of them are able to do in their follow-up matches.
That's very true. I know I was on the call for Kohrek's last match, and I think he did PB in that one. Could be wrong, though.
Alright, little piece of RNG exiting the sewers here. The guards can go randomly, so you have to react it based on their movement.
Looks like John and Emo have both lost their first matches, so someone in that race will be coming out with their first win, which will be really awesome to see. So we'll see who is able to come out on top there.
True. True.
Seems the top runner had a little bit trouble with the spin speed. Not speed speed, but the spin attack, killing the guard. This is the first real speed tech you can do in this room, killing the guard fast and picking up the key.
Well, don't forget pumping, but that's basically magic to most of us runners.
This will be a big race for Kohrek. Kohrek, terrible names. Kohrek and Serelepe today. This is actually Serelepe's first race of the tournament. And so hopefully he can kick off his 3 matches with a really solid run here. We're heading into the boomerang room here. We'll see how they're able to handle this guard.
They're all approaching the ball and chain guard. Do you think we'll see pot strats, sword slashes, or some combination of them?
Maybe both. Yeah, combination. Yeah, like you can toss 1 pot and finish up with a slash, and all 8 slashes. Different stats you can go with that. Emu getting a little bit of trouble here.
But getting it down.
Taking a couple hits here. A little nerve-wracking. Gets a solid kill, though, and gets the key at 3:05. Really nice time there for her.
Oh, we see a map here.
Just making sure we know where we're at, that's all.
Yeah.
I know I'm always a fan of just wondering, how Zelda's doing whenever I have to do amassing text for her back, for her text, and it's like, how you doing, Zelda? Have you been keeping well? Hopefully Aghanim hasn't let the guards try to do anything to you. Just all the stupid stuff you think of while going through escape.
Yeah, unfortunately, this escape doesn't last incredibly long as far as Zelda's safety is concerned, like you mentioned. It's kind of silly that they break her out of prison, but they don't really let her go anywhere after that. They just kind of get to the end in the cathedral, and then Link just takes off and is like, alright, deuces.
True.
One of the strats Emo could have done is picking up the hearts under the pots in the top room there with the guards, but decided to go otherwise and go all in.
I'm pretty sure she'll pick up the pot that she's got to walk by in the upcoming room, because it's just faster.
No. Emo definitely knows that we're using her audio for the stream right now. She just wants to make sure everyone knows it. Have that beep sound the whole way through the escape. Kind of hoping it keeps going. She wants to save the frames on the text at the end. I actually don't know why that happens, but you do save, I think 30 or 40 frames if you're beeping.
Yeah, because it's linked to past. This stuff doesn't make sense.
Well, that's true. That's very true. It's linked to the past. Just if you can't figure out something, it's just linked to the past.
JohnRossums also down to 1 heart now, so hopefully both of them can get through all the rat rooms without taking a little bite to a little nibble. You know what I'm saying? A little dangerous.
And both Emo and JohnRossum actually get some of the best rat RNG, with it actually running towards you.
John makes it out safely with a 602 with his half heart, and Emo makes it out at 603 with her 1. So both of them are actually going to be getting the frame saves here because of their beeping that they'll have experienced during the dialogue.
Everyone pretty much exited the sewers about the same time, like 604, 605.
Yeah, they were all within like 2 or 3 seconds of one another. That was really good.
Agreed. I'm just glad none of them got hit back into the text box we skip. Because if a rat actually does hit you back there, you will have to suffer an actual text box.
And everyone picks up the Sanctuary Heart, which is a safety you can drop if you speedrun this game. But it's like the best safety you go for this speedrun because it costs like nothing and saves sometimes runs. So
yeah, especially some of the tougher bosses and you have fewer hearts. It can be a real lifesaver in Tower of Hera or, you know, in EmoSaru. Pretty solid to have, especially for the early stages of this tournament. I imagine we'll be seeing most people be picking it up.
Don't forget Cold Stare and Vidi. It's saved my runs quite a few times.
Yep. And we are on our way to Eastern Palace right now, so the only movement we do is pumping and all that stuff, so not much going on. Yeah, skipping, not skipping, but evading the, what are they called?
The Octoroks or the Armos?
Octoroks, yeah.
Yeah. What strategy do you use on the Armos? Do you boom the Armos or do you hold your sword out?
I hold the sword out.
Yeah. I prefer the sword, especially if there's an Octo on the other side of him. You can kind of get their slash and kill him through the Armos and then just walk into him. I think the boom is a couple frames faster, ideally, but I think the sword is so consistent that I still do it even at where I'm at with the game.
Boom is a couple frames faster, but at the same point, it then just becomes down to preference on that one, though I think going above is faster on that one, but yeah, I'm a fan of the boom rank strats, because usually by then, I've taken at least some damage every now and then, so I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Serelepe having a little bit of trouble with the skeleton room.
Other 3 people did it almost entirely in sync.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome. All sorts of skeletons getting pots thrown at them, poor guys. No respect.
Of course not, because even throwing the boomerang at them will deal them damage.
Everyone,
the enemy will not get stunned by that.
And everyone picked up the 5 arrows there. You can't skip those, but you are you kind of need to drop. There's an RNG based on drops, so yeah, the red Armos needs to drop him at the end of the dungeon to be to saving time. Otherwise, it's waste.
We're coming up to the big key room skip, one of the most useful skips in Eastern Palace. Who knew a damage boost could save you so much time?
Yeah, the room can be quite a handful if you actually try to kill all of the enemies. So the skip's really, really nice. Oh, Serelepe takes a little bit of extra damage there. So grabs a heart after he got bonked, kind of down to the bottom right there.
Yeah, there's 2 hearts.
1 heart, so he's
2 health.
A little cognizant.
I'm a fan of just taking the damage with the anti-fairies and just working with the 2.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the tricks that even top runners have trouble with. Even myself, like, I still miss it sometimes. So
Yeah, I missed it like an hour and a half ago. Well, I got it, but I took an extra heart of damage.
And wow, EmoSaru and her opponent is also
Frame for frame, folks. You aren't even this close with your best friend. Let's be real. This is as close as it gets in Eastern. Screen transitions at the same time. Both of them putting arrows into the wall at the same time.
Oh boy.
Look, they're on the same wavelength right now.
John having a fun time in the Zelda gamer room here.
Deciding to ditch the arrows, goes for the sword slashes, cleans them up. Does not pick up the arrows, which he's going to have enough for the boss fight.
Yeah, John had the bad RNG on the Zelda gamer room, like the skeleton goes to the wall and you have to react to it.
Emo with a picture-perfect Armos for the strat that she chose to do, and she's going to get out of there with a pretty nice time of around 11, 15, 11, 17.
I'm just happy to see the whole ACM favored strats of going with the bottom right corner on at least one of our runners' side.
Yeah, everyone got the quick kill, so that's nice.
So they're all off to get their Pegasus boots, which I still have to say, where does Sahasrara keep them? I'm always a fan of just saying he's wearing them and just gives them away.
For sure. He's just like, here, I've been wearing these all day, you know, whatever. No biggie.
What about you, Sabin? Where do you think he keeps them?
I believe he has a pocket that's like a black hole, like one of these magic pockets that I get this Harry Potter, like drop stuff and.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yes, it does.
So here we got Emo and Serelepe both grabbing the rupees and choosing not to pick up the bombs, and the other two runners have both chosen to go for the tree rupees later on.
So interesting thing Kohrek did. He tried to go for the spin speed, but facing left on the stairs. So if you go for that, it's not gonna work because if you blink the other button, it's gonna consider like a hold, like you hold a wall. So it's not gonna work. So you have to face up and down to get the speed on the stairs.
I did not know that. Good note for next time, if that does happen.
Making our way to the library, we got John and Emo both going for the spin speed. Emo gets it pretty nice, so does John. Emo getting a little trouble on the stairs there, but both getting inside. Kohrek also going for the spin speed.
And Serelepe also going to get it as well.
4 for 4. All of them grabbing the book, Das Buch, and they're going to be heading down towards Desert, where they're going to use the book to enter the second pendant dungeon.
We're basically going to pray to the gods and hope they listen. I just hope we don't see the dreaded bush bonk, at least, coming down, for the water dash coming up here.
Water dash is my favorite trick in the game, by the way.
Oh yeah, same.
I really like the sound it makes. It's so good.
Yeah.
JohnRossums first to reach the tablet, Emo shortly behind him, and then the top two runners there will be making their way to the tablet as well. And we're going to have a really nice, really close times entering the dungeon as well. This is a really, really close, solid 4-way race so far.
Yeah.
Agreed. I always find it interesting how, the different strats that runners use to kill that guard, God, I forget what it is called, but the thing in the whirlpool that basically blocks your way. I just find it amusing how, each runner chooses to kill it differently. Looks like is probably going to have maybe a 1 cannonball and 2 cannonball pattern. Calling it now.
SerelepeMarsupial with the ever elusive blue screen in desert coming in and out.
Yeah, I think Ganon already won over iRoll on this.
Yeah, he's starting to take over on that screen. Emo choosing to... Oh, did she pick up the arrows on the way to the key, maybe? Because she has 21 arrows, but she didn't pick it up when she was on her way out. But she's going to have a full 30, so she's going to be fully loaded anyway. Kohrek's going to be making his way and getting the gloves himself. I think SerelepeMarsupial's taking a moment to try to fix his capture. I think he realized that there's something wonky about it.
More than likely. Hopefully he gets that fixed. I don't think any of our runners are going for the most dangerous spin speed in the game.
I didn't pay attention to that. Yeah.
Nah, neither of them did. And Kohrek is also not.
Even I don't go for that one, and I usually try to YOLO whenever I can.
I saw Saban. I saw you did it in your race, I believe.
It's not that bad. It's just timing the pause buffer.
Yeah, as long as if you use the pause buffer, it's a pretty relatively safe strategy with a little bit of practice. Just knowing to pause immediately after you leave, and then turning afterward. Emo with a 1658, yeah. So 6 seconds are separating Emo and JR. And Kohrek's coming up here through his key door. See how many cycles they can get. Emo promised me a 2 cycle, so I'm really looking forward to it. Having a little bit of trouble in cycles 2 and 3. Hopefully she can clean it up pretty nicely here. JR, meanwhile, getting some nice arrows. Oh, JR takes a rock to the face.
Ouch.
Unfortunately, gets a death to Lanmo. So he's going to have to make his way back through the dungeon and try to catch up here. Fortunately for him, Emo also had a little bit of trouble with the fight as well, so hopefully he can get back there as quickly as possible to try to kind of lessen that gap.
But her and Kohrek are the first 2 done with their Landwall's fight. But yeah, I know how it feels to take that rock to the face, especially when it's on the final hit of Landwall's.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate death. SerelepeMarsupial looks like he's gotten his capture kind of going now again. Hopefully he can catch up and get to Landwall's as well.
It's still early in the run, so he does have a chance.
It's certainly early enough in the run.
Kohrek going for the poke dash. I don't know what's that enemy called, like the Sandman or something like that. I don't know. Like there's just 2
Sandman, yeah.
There's like 3 different strats you can go for, like the you dash. There's a safe strat, the pokes dash, and the cactus dash, which is pretty much yeah. 1 frame perfect or something like that.
Fastest one, but we're at fake flippers. Emo gets it during her first shot. As does Kohrek.
Making our way through the water there.
Well, we're getting to the old man. It's the lost old guy. How did he get lost again? I don't think they ever sell. Although I do have to say there are a lot of old people in this game. Makes you wonder, what happened to, all the kids.
Now JR is going to be making his way down to fake flippers. And Serelepe actually made pretty good time catching back up after having the technical difficulties, so hopefully he can have a pretty clean Lambo fight. It's been going well so far.
And Emo climbing the death mountain, which is, yeah, the garbage of death. Or, oh, missing the speed here. So there's a lot of RNG going on in the screen. So the D-Rocks, not the D-Rocks, but the Dead Rocks.
The D-Rocks, yes. The D-Rocks are dropping off the cliffs.
Yep.
No, Emo did an incredibly nice job adjusting to that RNG, honestly, between the first squirrel there and then the rocks coming during the mirror cutscene. Pretty nice way to deal with that.
Agreed. And they're all just about to enter Hera. Or at least, you know, Emo and Kohrek are.
To answer a question in chat, save and quit is not allowed on. Well, it's allowed only if you soft lock during the fake flippers. Otherwise, it's not.
And though for the group stages, you are allowed to save and quit back to Link's house if you do have the soft lock and continue on from there. But for the bracket stages, you will be required to go back to that screen that you're on with the fake flippers and slash the push in order to continue.
Serelepe had a really nice fake flipper there. Kohrek and Emo making their way into the tile room, the most entertaining room of all the Tower of Hera. Meanwhile, JR gets his mirror, is going to make his way up D-Rock Mountain.
Yeah.
D-Rock's already the owner of Turtle Rock. Unless you would still call that Fraggle Rock. I personally am a fan of calling it
JR taking a little detour, checking out the other cave with the old man, just taking him on a little journey.
Yeah, it's a little bit of DLC here, so don't even go there.
DLC, Goes to the spin speed again, gets it, and is able to kind of make up some of the time that he lost accidentally going into the cave.
He was going spelunking.
I want to be a spelunker.
Both Kohrek and EmoSaru are on their way to get their Moon Pearl.
Be a room like one of the the ECM strat from Emo.
Nicely done by Emo. Ooh, I like the strat that Kohrek just did as well. I've never seen that. Potting both of those first beetles into the right one, slashing the orb, and then hitting the last one as well. That was pretty nice for both of them.
It's one of those rooms that you see so many different strategies, and that, you know, it's always just interesting to see what each people, you know, what everybody does fit.
Nice bomb jump there.
Yep, nice bomb jump for Emo, and also for Kohrek.
Very punishing bomb jump if you miss it, like you fall 2 floors down.
Ooh, Emo got some bad RNG, went to dash and poke that dude bro dongo or whatever it's called, and it actually cast fire, used Fire Aga right whenever she tried to go by, and it actually caused it to kind of stick right where she was going through.
I think they call mini the dongos or something like that.
Yeah, I think they are mini the dongos. Though both her and
Kohrek going for the north-south dash, taking a bonk into the middle hole. Unfortunately for him, but this will give Serelepe a nice little chance to recover some of the time that he lost due to his technical difficulty earlier. Hopefully Kohrek will be able to have a nice second fight. Emo getting some really truly RNG on the final hit here. Moldorm not wanting to cooperate, kind of hanging out over there on the Finn side.
Well, she'll be picking up her Pendant of Wisdom, and then it's off to the Master Sword.
Oh, middle hole by
Moldorm. Oh no. It is significantly easier to take a hit when you're dashing north and south on Moldorm. So I suggest typically I kind of only go for east-west dashes for the most time. I don't know what it is about the hitbox that makes it easier for that to happen, but
and of course needs to be careful. He's down to 1 heart.
Choosing to just kind of go for a poke there.
Kind of risky dashing with 1 heart though.
Hey, I like Kohrek's style. Unfortunately, he takes a hit there, but I do like his commitment to trying to make up some of that time. So now he's going to have to make his way back up through the second half of the dungeon. Meanwhile, Serelepe is now in a position where is able to catch up all the time that he lost to his technical difficulty earlier on.
And JR is just about done his Lamro fight. Sorry, Moldorm.
It's basically an extension of Lanmo. They're all awful.
Agreed.
John choosing to go for the bait and slash technique. Final hit, has his sword out, gets a nice dash through the tail, finishes up. Meanwhile, Emo with a right about a 25-30 Master Sword. Really nice Master Sword time.
25-34 Master Sword.
And getting the stretch to not walk up to the pedestal either.
Yeah, you actually don't need to walk into that little stairs here to pick up the Master Sword. Just need to be lined up like a certain pixel, something. You can pick it up very far.
And Serelepe getting a bit of troll RNG from Trolldorm, while Kohrek is, almost done again.
So Serelepe also took a fall there. Kohrek trying to finish up his fight here. Meanwhile, Serelepe will be dropping in again.
And Emo opting for the shrooms.
Kohrek getting bounced around a little bit again there on his third refight, or his second refight, his third fight, and was able to get the final hit off and put that one behind him and just kind of continue onward. Serelepe also finishing up Moldorm as well, and really, really nice job for him. Glad that he was able to catch up quite a bit in this dungeon. Meanwhile, John's going to make his way to the Master difficulty. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. Losing time to something that's not gameplay or execution based is always kind of a letdown.
Agreed. But our top runners are on their way to the Master Sword, while good old JR is just about to pull it.
Emo going for the safe strat, holding out the sword and waiting until the guards are in position and double spin them, kill them.
Agreed. So, do you want to talk about blue balls now, or wait till it gets to Aga's floor?
We can wait a little bit. There's a little bit to talk here. Emo tried to go for the manipulation. You can manipulate actually getting a fairy drop into T-Rock. Dashed and tried to, well, fortunately kill one of the guard with the sword regular. Usually when you dash to an enemy and kill them, doesn't drop an there's no chance to drop an item. But fortunately there was no drop that were happening in the screen, so the fairy's gonna drop in the T-Rock for.
Sorry to interrupt you, Sabin, but both of our top runners, Serelepe and Kohrek, just pulling out their Master Swords, and they'll be on their way to Aghanim in a minute.
Emo having a little bit of trouble with her spin there on the key guard, but's able to pick up the key and then get through here to the 5th floor. So she'll be making her way up into Aghanim's chamber shortly.
She'll be able to say hi to Zelda and then bye to Zelda. So I guess we'll start asking for a blue ball count for Emo, and then we'll go from there.
Emo's getting the EMZO for sure. The Emo blue balls. Count it. Put it in Sharpie. Etch it in stone with a chisel. 0. Incoming.
But we'll see how good teleport RNG then.
Oh, I think Kohrek messed up the 3 rupees.
Don't worry, he knows the backup.
Yeah, you have to kill 4 enemies on. Got hit there.
There's always a backup.
Yeah, there's a couple of backups you can get rupees from after when you hit Dark Worlds, so.
And if worst comes to worst, you can always mirror and go out Alasrala's rupees as a true last resort.
Yeah, usually you're supposed to not get hit after the Master Sword, and you pick up. There's a 3 rupee next to the entrance of the castle, and you get your rupees there. But otherwise, there's also a rock that can be pulled at the bottom of the pyramid that contains rupee as well.
And sorry,
All right, my prediction was wrong on the first opportunity.
Blue balls.
It was also wrong on the second opportunity. Emo, don't do this to me. Alright, that's more like it. I want 0 the rest of the way, folks.
I just don't want to see the 16. I just don't want to see a runner basically take the 16.
I think the maximum is 15, though.
Is it? I wasn't sure if it was 15 or 16.
Yeah, I think it's 15. Only person I've ever known to get it personally is Scrivo.
World record champion twice in a row.
Yeah, I think it's just like a metaphor for how he plays the rest of the game. Oh, there it is, 0 the second cycle. That's what I was saying. I said Emo is definitely getting 0 in the second cycle, and didn't let me down.
And chat, while our other 3 runners are making their way to Aghanim, I guess you can start guessing their blue ball counts, as JR is just about into his fight. Oh no! Kohrek taking a death at Aga Tower! This is costly!
Yeah, death in Aga Tower can be quite hurtful because you have to redo every room that you had already accomplished. And he's gonna run out of arrows here as well, which is also gonna be a cause for concern later. Emo with that really nice short water dash. Short and sweet. Beautiful. JR. What's JR looking like right now on his balls?
I don't think he's had a single one yet. Oh, speak of the devil.
Spoke too soon, yeah.
So Leppy, just about to get into his Aga fight too. Chat, get your guesses for him in chat. Emo right now also picking up the greatest monkey in all of Hyrule.
That was a really nice dash cancel for Emo right before Kiki's dialogue as well. Dashing the whole way through that can cause a little bit of lag, and there's, I think, like 40 to 60 frames or something, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the way you do it is you dash and you cancel before the story trigger happens, and you wiggle back and forth just to manipulate Kiki to go forward next to you, so it doesn't walk. And during the cutscene he walks at a slow pace, so it saves time during that.
Almost none of our runners getting the God Aga RNG. Only Kohrek's left to see if he can manage the zero blue ball fight.
Oh, Emo getting unlucky with the placement of that jelly there. Kind of trolled her. She's trying to jump off the ledge there.
Very true. Very true. Now, I know all of our runners are proficient with the bomb jump, so we shouldn't see pod basement at all.
Oh my, Kohrek getting bullied by the blue guard.
He needs to be careful. He's at 1 heart. And 1 heart Aghanim is very, very nerve-wracking. So JR just about to pick up his extortionist monkey.
Emo going for the bomb jump here. That was actually pretty nice.
Yes, it was.
So the bomb jump is like the pixel perfect twice based. It's double pixel perfect basically, but there's some visual cues you can go for, and there's some certain movement you can do to move one pixel up and down and stuff like that. So
I personally am a fan of Blunt Bunny's actual comment when it came to that. However, since we're actually live on Speed Gaming, I can't really say the exact wording. Let's just say, pick whatever you want. That's the polite way to say it.
That door that Emo just came out of, you'll see that when she tried to dash north, it actually did not allow Link to turn. It's kind of a trollish door, and you have to kind of come out of the doorway on a bit of a diagonal and then go up in order to kind of prevent that from happening, which can be kind of a hassle. Emo opting to pick up 10 arrows. We'll have a really nice arrow count leaving Palace of Darkness. Getting that slick bow dash, too.
I'm curious what Kohrek will do with this money situation. I will assume he will roar warp to Saraswala to get the money, or he has a different plan.
I think the Saha rupees are probably going to be the simplest at this point.
Well, unless he depends on. Nah, he did take damage on Aga Tower, so he can't get the 80 off of the pull statue there.
You can pull the statue at the bottom, exit the screen, kill 4, and come back and pull it again. It's gonna work. So certain strats you can do.
I'm sure he's just probably nervous. Excuse me. But while JR just picked up his M-Chan hammer, Emo is just about into EmoSaru, the real gatekeeper of most players' runs.
Takes an early fireball there. Kind of bad RNG, unfortunately. Only gets hit by one of them, though. Then gets a tail whip for the second attack, so hopefully the rest of the fight goes relatively smoothly. Going for some hammer hits there. Gets 2. Probably going to finish up with a couple of slashes here. Really nice fight, despite some rough RNG on Emo's side. Meanwhile, JR getting that sexy statue push, and he'll be heading into the Mimic's room. And SerelepeMarsupial's setting up for the hammer jump. Ooh, must have been off by a pixel or so. I didn't see exactly the setup that he had done. So we'll see what
he was trying for the 1-bomb setup, and yes, he was off by a pixel.
Oh, gets trolled by the EmoSaru. Actually gets knocked off the bridge.
Ouch. I guess opting to do the safe strat and go with pod basement then.
Yeah, what you do in the basement, usually what you want to do is exiting the basement with 200 rupees, so you can skip a 300 chest with like the C room after TT keeps down. But
more than likely it's the bombable hut. More than likely it's the bombable hut because you have to actually wait for the time. And beautiful turtle room for JR. He'll be going into his EmoSaru fight in just a few seconds.
You get the perf turrets?
Basically, the last one did flip up on him, but he was able to quickly recover on that one.
That's fine. There's always one turret, man.
Well, it's better than the double lonely turtle that I think Srivo showed us all. And SerelepeMarsupial picking up his M-Chan hammer, while
John getting one hammer hit there, then going for a spin. He's probably going to try to finish off with some sword slashes here as well. Pretty nice fight for JR as well, so nicely done there. Emo's making her way to pick up the Shuvel and Flute.
And of course,
first strike dig.
Not only that, but not even saying thanks to the Flute Boy for the shovel and the flute. I'm pretty sure she's probably not going to go for net and bottle, but I don't know her as well as you two, so you two might be able to answer that one for me.
I actually am not positive if Emo picks up the net and bottle. Getting that 2-dig, though. Meanwhile, Serelepe will be heading into the basement. Kohrek fallen at his hammer jump attempt there. Hopefully he can straighten that at Pixel out and get it on his second attempt.
Agreed. I'm pretty sure he's just nervous on that one after taking the death in Aga Tower. I know a lot of runners would be.
Gets it the next try there. Really, really nicely recovered. Emo, meanwhile, getting that swag duck. Gonna be flying all over the place.
Based on the position, the flute got fluted, I guess. You're probably gonna pick up the powder here.
Oh, that's it. Oh no. Kohrek taking another death.
I'm not sure if he did that because he was going to mirror out anyway and wanted some health back. So I didn't see it, but he may have done it on purpose because he was going to mirror after getting the small key anyway. But he only had 3 hearts, or 2 or 3 hearts, and so he actually gained some health. So he may have just suicided there in order to get a little extra health for himself.
I believe you're correct. I just did not see if or not he picked up the hammer.
To answer a question in chat, the way spin speed glitch works is you hold your sword out and you release your spin attack and press A affirmator. So basically, you do a blink between A and B and A, and you're gonna be in state glitch, and exiting the stairs will trigger that spin speed. You can confirm that you have the glitch by not being able to swing your sword.
Then you just kiss some stairs. North-south, and then you'll be in the state.
It's very easy to do.
And Emo opting to do the hammer dash. It's essentially is if you hold. Oh, there's 1.0 glitch only. If you press the Y button and the A button at the same time, you will be able to run with your items. And we got a new Satan Bolt sighting, and JR dodges him perfectly.
Emo had a pretty nice overworld there on the way to Thieves Town. It's actually one of the more difficult overworlds to get really consistent at because it's both long. There's a number of kind of technical tricks you need to be able to, try to execute the best of your ability. There's also quite a few screens with enemies with really trolly movement, like Usain Bolt, as you mentioned, being one of them.
And Kohrek is going into his Helma fight.
I want to say it's the longest overworld segment in the game, dungeon to dungeon.
Possibly, maybe you get when you get the Ether and Ice Rod in the same segment. Maybe.
So I guess if you do that, yeah, then that would be a little longer. But I mean, as far as like an undisrupted, no fluting involved, I think it's the longest.
I'd say
a good one's 3 minutes. And that's with no fluting at all.
I'd say the only other thing I could think of is maybe to get the flippers, but you're probably right, though.
Yeah, it's a little bit quicker. The flippers and then to ice is a little bit faster. It's like 10 seconds faster for a good one. Because I think that's the second longest in the game, in a run, at least.
True, and Kohrek getting down EmoSaru, so he'll be off to get his shovel and flute in, a few minutes.
JR making his way to Thieves Town. Emo having a really nice dungeon so far also. Emo has just continued to kind of improve on her game the last several dungeons, so things are going really well for her right now, so hopefully she can keep up this pace. This is really nice for her.
Agreed, and JR has just entered Thieves Town.
Gets a nice quick hop off that ledge, some nice RNG from the Fire Snake and Horse Head. And now he's going to dash over and go to pick up his big key as well. Meanwhile, Emo heading into the prison, saving the fake maiden.
Getting her Titan's gloves, the better version of the Power Glove.
Actually getting some pretty nice dashes from gate to gate. I did not start dashing in the prison for quite a while. If you're not really consistent at canceling your dashes, it's typically going to be a little faster to walk, but Emo had really nice cancels there.
Yeah, the reason it's faster a little bit is because you can kill the blue guys.
Yeah, exactly. If they're in the way, and you don't have to slash any extra times.
Great. And while Emo was picking up her Titan's mitts, Serelepe just picked up the net and bottle, said hi to the sick kid, and is unlocking his swag duck right now.
Emo got a really, really fortunate arrow drop there, and is up to 21 on arrow count, which is a really nice number considering the pace that's going on here.
Oh, got the spin speed. Not the spin speed.
Spin speed. Got the spin speed on blind. The new strat.
Fast. Yeah, basically blind is a scripted fight from start to finish if you execute perfectly, but having a little bit of trouble gets up the script.
Shout out to the Sanctuary Heart.
Yes.
Mentioned it earlier.
Shout out.
It can keep your runs alive. This is an example of that. Had a little unfortunate mishap with the spin on the second cycle blind, but able to get enough hits to finish it off there and keep the run going. So nice job by Emo there to adjust to that mishap.
The first phase is pretty easy. You just stick to the Y position correctly, and the second phase is really where things goes off most of the time.
Basically, just stick and move, stick and move, stick and move. JR's on his way to pick up his Titan's mitts, and then he'll be fighting blind momentarily, while Emo is going to go pick up 600 rupees, rescue a dwarf, and have him temper the Master Sword for 10 bucks. A lot cheaper than Flippers, wouldn't you say?
Significantly cheaper. The Flippers are a ripoff.
Hey,
pay 500 rupees and you use them like one time. Use them to get to ice, then use them in swamp. And that's about it.
Yeah, what else? What money you can spend on Hyrule? Like mini games, buying stuff that you don't really need. Like, there's not much use for money in this game other than maybe the fairy to boost your arrow and bomb count. But
don't forget the giant bomb to get silvers and the butter sword.
yeah, that's true. That's 100, I think.
It is. It is. But then again, I'm a fan of just, and I've been testing this out since I get butter sword and silvers about just fake flippering to ice. Because then I'm already going to be going to Swamp Dead last, so I might as well just, you know, get that just before Meyer.
And in the meantime, getting your sword upgraded to level 3 costs 10 rupees. Makes sense.
Agreed. And Emo getting the quick location for the mirror warp. I don't know what you guys would call it, but being able to mirror inside the door and just walk up. Very useful.
Alright, let's see. Emo gets the fence dash here. Gets the fence dash.
The run is going on, boys! This run is officially my favorite thing of this whole tournament right now. The fence dash is the most technical and best looking trick in the entire game, and Emo did not disappoint. Delivers like a champion.
Actually, it's fairly easy though. You're just holding, just press left.
Don't you dare downtrod the difficulty of the fence dash.
Just press left and dash at the same time.
If it was so easy, then why do you bonk all the time?
Because I'm bad.
Okay,
we're all bad.
Fair enough.
We're all bad.
Yeah, that's right, Chad. Get the hype going for Emo for that. That was beautiful.
This is one of the rules room in the game, like the mummy room. You have to. There's a certain way to manipulate.
Lovely stuck mummy there, though.
JR's on his way to pick up his sword, while Serelepe is just about to take on Blind. And Kohrek, who's made up a lot of time after that Definaga Tower, is just about to bomb open the door, the actual sunlight into Blind's chamber.
Ooh, Emo had a really nice start to the dungeon, but then got kind of jumped on by that Ropa 2 times there. A little unfortunate. 4 hearts of damage that you just don't want to take heading into the Mothula fight.
Well, she did take up Powder, so she does have a bit of safeties there. And I know I'm a fan of advocating for Powder just for Mothula and Cold Stare. And a little less for Vidi, but I think you can handle it from there. And Serelepe has got Blind down, is now picking up his second Maiden, and waiting to hear what she has to say.
John with a pretty nice travel there from the Tempered Sword into Scarlet Woods, so hopefully we'll see that he gets a favorable RNG on the mummy as well, so we'll kind of see what happens for him while Emo heads into the second part. Oh, John also getting the stuck mummy.
Yeah, if you get stuck on the mummy, they're getting trolled. You can use the boomerang to stun them and move on.
Getting a little unlucky with the other mummy though. Hand kind of coming in for him.
Emo just about to take on sorry, couldn't think of it for a minute. Mothula.
Mafula.
Well, hey, remember this. At least you don't have to deal with Butter Sword, because then you couldn't actually hit him except for pokes.
A really nice fire rod shot there. Switch into mirror before the final hit. Very nice fight for Emo. Kohrek down over there taking down Blind pretty nicely as well. Really nice textbook fight for him. And Serelepe will be picking up the Tempered Sword.
Agreed. And I have to say, Kohrek and Serelepe are doing quite well despite both of their Serelepe's technical difficulties and Kohrek's Definaga Tower. Both of them have made excellent time.
Serelepe chose no on the question, so I had to talk the dwarf again.
You know what? Sometimes you just think he's being a greedy dwarf and he doesn't deserve your 10 rupees. He should be making that sword for free. You saved his life. He was a frog. He owes you big time.
He was a frog that is actually memed by the randomizer community. I think he didn't want to be an actual living meme, as I can actually speak for that from experience. Trust me, I've got friends that will actually meme me just because of my luck, which is both an honor and amusing.
JR getting through the mummy highway pretty nicely done there. Got a cool cat in chat, so watch out everyone. JR dropping the fire rod on the mummy, taking a nice little easy strategy there in order to get the key as quickly as he can, drop into Mothula for himself. So we'll see how his RNG is here as well. Really nicely done for JR there. Some pretty awful RNG with the spike movement and the floor going east-west to start the fight. So really nicely done for JR there. Serelepe with a pretty nice mummy room. That's probably one of the nicer ones I've seen that hasn't gotten a good mummy RNG, so good job for him.
First try Quake.
First try Quake. I think there was someone else in the tournament that really struggled to get the Quake medallion earlier. Oh no. Emo's gonna have to throw another item in. Sabin, what item do you think Emo should throw? I think you are an expert on that.
I think the bomb should be a good option.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think it might not work based on experience. So...
Oh, okay. Sounds like there's a story there. How many
Hey,
items
I
did
know,
you end
I-
up throwing
no,
into the
not
pond
one.
on that run, by the way?
I tried 5.
That's ridiculous. If you're throwing 5 items, then the catfish just definitely doesn't want to give you the Quake medallion. You don't deserve it at that point. You get 2 tries.
Basically, you want to basically roast him alive with the fire rod, but you can't.
Emo dodging that Zora fireball just by a little bit there. Kind of scary. Meanwhile, JR heading up, making his way to the Quake medallion as well. Not too far behind.
Kohrek is in the mummy room and is on his way to pick up the big key and able to push one of the mummies with that statue.
And one thing that's annoying with the mummy, sometimes when the mummy gets stuck between the wall and the statue, you slash your sword and doesn't do anything. So
Oh hey, the boomerang does stun it.
yeah, that's the safe strat you go for if you are not comfortable with that room.
And JR missing the bonk strats. And so let me making decent work on Mafia right now. While Emo is on her way down towards the Ice Palace bomb jump, the most useful trick in the game. No matter even if you are a casual or a speedrunner of this game, you definitely need to learn the Ice Palace bomb jump.
Yeah, because it saves a lot of time because it cuts a whole, basically the half dungeon pretty much. Like the ice dungeon, Ice Palace casual, you have to basically do the dungeon twice because the way it works. So
When the guide itself for this game tells you to go get the Canis and Maria, that says something.
that's one thing I did as a kid. I was like, all right, this has to be a trick, this dungeon casually that makes it possible to beat it without the cane. And I managed to figure it out, but it's kind of not not super easy to figure out when you're a 8-year-old kid.
I think that's true for all of us. Then again, I do have to say, even when they remade this for the GBA, this is how you can tell the developers did not like how Ice Palace was. They actually nerfed Ice Palace in the GBA version. However, they did make it impossible to get to the fairy fountain in there.
Nice looking
Nice
bonk jump
jump.
for Emo there. Gonna be waiting for the fire bar and then bonk over the hole there nicely. Hopefully JR can have a pretty smooth first half of ice as well.
While Kohrek is in his moth fight, and he takes it down and will collect his third crystal.
Taking it down. Take it down to the ground. Taking it downtown. Down.
Don't worry, he's just burning it to the ground.
Emo with a really nice strat there for the Lonely Fire Bar. Takes a few steps down, dashes west, goes up, and then dashes into the staircase. Really nice there.
I know, I'm a personal fan of that strat because I don't want to risk these slashes there.
Yeah, there's some more advanced strats you can go for, like using the hammer to manipulate your movement and sword as well. So using that strat Emo did, it's pretty easy. Yeah, straight to the point.
Nemo just about to start frying up her ice cream. What flavor do you think Cold Stare is today?
One thing you need to make sure before going down to Cold Stare is having enough magic and misses the spin speed. Not spin speed. The spin attack before the buffs spawn.
And JR getting a good bomb jump himself.
Actually, it's kind of dangerous right now. Yeah.
Oh god. Emo has to be careful as anything. There's one puff down. at least one free scoop of ice cream. 2 puffs down. There's 2 scoops. And being smart about making them have to come to her or the top area, since the ice does not drop on that one. And there's her 3rd and final scoop.
Yeah, basically, on this boss, you have to have full magic, like normal magic, and you cannot miss a shot. Otherwise, it's pretty much you have to mirror. I think they fixed that. I think on the GBA version they fixed that because if you have normal magic, the ice blocks drops magic if you don't have any more.
It does. However, you could also, if you do know the low percent strat of using the fire rod and sword beams, you can do that and save yourself half a bar of magic. I know I'm a fan of actually doing that if I can.
John going for the spin attack strat.
Had a really nice attempt there. Yeah, I got a little unfortunate movement there with the final spin, but was able to clean it up nicely just the same. Took a little kiss from one of the puffs, but nothing that's going to be hurtful to his time on the split.
Correct. And he's actually made up a decent chunk of time on Emo. And Emo, I'm assuming, going to get Ether? Sorry. Ether or the Swamp, most likely. Ah, Ice Rod. I guess the Popsicle Rod, maybe? I mean, what else do you do with it except use it on Trinex?
Yeah, that ice rod is only used for Trinex at all. That's the only reason it exists.
Well, that and Land Molus if you really want to go there early game, but why would you?
Yeah, I kind of explored a route like at the start of the game. Instead of going straight to desert, you get the ice rod, get the book, and go to desert just to get a Land Molus quick kill better. It was interesting though.
I think we've all explored some routes like that, man.
Kohrek really not that far behind Serelepe at this point, catching up quite a bit. He'll be heading into ice, and Serelepe will be making his way down into the basement of ice with full health, fortunately. So he's looking pretty slick right now. A little trouble with one of the penguins, but little Crosby's kind of an evasive bugger, so keep your eye on him. He's got nothing on Le Cabeton, though. Real champions.
Yeah, but you gotta understand that Crosby grew up in Rimouski, which is close to my town.
I didn't know you lived that close to it, honestly. I knew it was like in the area.
And JR is the first to enter Swamp, but mind you, he still has to go get Ether after this. And we pause for a minute to remember everybody watching this. Please follow our runners, Kohrek, Serelepe. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. EmoSaru, and JohnRossums. Sorry, I am pronouncing horribly on that one. But please remember to follow our runners.
The Saban and I actually had we got to do a race with Serelepe before we knew him for a marathon that El Magus runs, and so that's how I met Serelepe about a year ago. We did an NMG race with him. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it was at the end of 2016, I think.
Yeah, it might have been a year and a half ago now that you say that. Yeah, it might have been 2 winters ago. That sounds right. It was a long time ago.
I don't think you had your sub 130 at that point. I know I did, but...
Oh, okay. I don't know if you had a sub 130, Kev, but I did. Wow. Sounds like that time that I don't know if you had your sub 128 yet, but I'm sitting at that 127 now. It's so lonely down here.
Too busy playing other games.
Don't leave me here, Saban. You're leaving me here all alone. You'll see John here actually getting some really nice options because he has beams in this room. He can actually save a couple of frames on this switch. He'll be able to dash out there because the beams can kind of hit it a little bit easier than without them.
Yeah, Swamp is not a dungeon that you will die, but there's so much things that can go wrong. Not go wrong, but lose much time because RNG and movement and all that stuff. So it's something that, like, for me personally, when I tried all the rooms in the game, it's one of the dungeons that you try to go for strats that it seems faster, but you try something else and it's not. So you save a lot of time just doing by different strats.
Did Kohrek just catch up, or did Serelepe just die at Cold Stare? Last I saw, I think he was at Cold Stare, or was I thinking of JR in our bottom race?
Having a little bit of trouble there with the Lonely Fire Bar. Kind of goes up to the top there. Gonna wait for the fire bar to go by and then dash down.
Right,
And Kohrek's on his bomb jump.
I've watched Emo the last couple of days. Actually, really like the last 2 weeks, a little bit more than I had before I had known Emo. And Emo's movement has improved drastically in the last couple of weeks.
I personally wish I could move that well in this game, as I'm a fan of saying, yeah, I bleed time due to my movement.
I've just noticed that Emo's had some really nice choices of when to walk and dash, nice paths that Emo's taken, and I've definitely noticed a nice improvement. Unfortunately, I don't know JR and Kohrek enough to know what their level of play was prior to the tournament.
Kohrek's had a lot of play, although he is a little new. He came to the game from the randomizer community.
A little sketchy cold stare from Serelepe, but managed to make it out.
Serelepe and Emo both finishing the fight with a hard half. It's all good. Not even scared.
And I think Serelepe also had a fairy in a bottle, so he was pretty safe.
JR going to the restock room, picking up a couple hearts, picking up the arrows. Already has 2 bombs, so he'll be set, making his way into the Argus fight.
And Kohrek is on the Cold Stare fight with full magic, but choosing to not use the sword beam strats. But he gets down all 3 Cold Stare puffs and is now on his way to his next dungeon after talking with this maiden.
John finishing with the Argus. There's a quicker strat that you can go for, but it's really precise and hard to do for it. Like, maybe you can go for like if I 127 or something like that. Oh, going for the fire rod strat though.
Nice fire rods there.
That's
although he does manage to have to deal with the Argus, no puffball, animation, as I've had that happen every now and then.
Emo going for a pretty traditional 1 cycle attempt. Got some really impeccable timing on that hookshotting during the animation. Also busting out the fire rod here. Oh, getting the runner launcher there, right on the face. Fortunately, plenty of health to deal with it. Opting to finish up with a couple of spins, and nicely done by Emo to finish up Swamp Hellas.
The consistent strat is just 2 spin attacks, but the fire rod saves very small amount of time compared to just 2 spin attacks, but it looks cool, so why not go for it?
Kohrek having a little bit of trouble getting the spin speed on the stairs there, but fortunately didn't really have any cabbages coming for him while he was doing so kind of was able to mess around a little bit without actually taking any damage, fortunately, making his way up the mountain. Now JR is going to be going up to pick up his ether. He's going to be opting to do the stair climb with the hook shot. Yeah, sky cabbages. Do you see them, dude? They're falling out of the sky, and they're cabbages, man.
It's raining vegetables. Oh god, why did that just remind me of an anime scene? It actually did.
That's why.
Well, when you literally see a giant, an adventure anime, where the main characters have to literally fry, you know, basically fight flying cabbages, I think that's kind of funny, considering Link needs to fight flying cabbages, and it's an adventure game.
What's gonna happen with the bird? Are we gonna go for the beam or
The beam, the throw, or just to carry it in? I've seen both. I've seen all of them in the tournament.
and we ignore the bird? All right, going for speed. I respect that.
I do too. I always don't throw the bird. I just ignore it. But then again, I can dodge the bird.
Oh, Emo getting a little bit unlucky with the one slash to the right.
Getting hit by the beam.
Ooh,
Yeah, getting hit. It's cost far hard.
I was gonna say I'm surprised that Emo opted not to pick up either of those heart drops, but with powder in hand, should still be okay. Plenty of anti-fairies late in the dungeon.
Agreed. This dungeon is basically probably assuming you have powder by now, in some way, shape, or form. And will JR do the bird toss? Ouch, getting hit by the bird first.
Might get hit again during the cutscene though. Not sure.
I'd say maybe since it's this close, you're really not losing time to just pick it up and at least carry it into the dungeon.
Going for speed.
Not giving in to the memes, I guess. I know as commentators, I'm pretty sure we want to see them do the bird toss, but it is what it is. Nice torch room for, you know, in, which I know the randomizer community is a fan of saying this is the longest cutscene in the game, but for us, that's Swamp Palace. Hands down, it has to be the Crystal Maiden of Swamp Palace. What do you two think?
This cutscene is pretty much like, alright, am I on PB pace? What can I PB? Like, he cannot, like, ponder the situation. Like, of your run.
Yeah, I know. I personally thought about if I'm, you know, over a decent time, I will ponder, like, because I still, you know, debate about taking, you know, butter and silvers. It's like, am I on a good enough pace that I can skip it? Is this run feeling like, yeah, I can do it without? Because I can do the stuff without it. It's just, I want to save the time and save the actual PB sometimes. And JR now pondering his life, his run, and if not, he's on PB pace. Still two very close races between our runners.
Emo switching to the cane there before going down the stairs. Certainly just a preference thing. This room can be really finicky. Misplacing the block can cause a lot of problems, and you can kind of just get pelted with fireballs. So certainly a strat that Emo seems to have practiced quite a bit. Nicely done there. Heading
And so it might be looking like he might have a bit of trouble with Argus right now. I didn't see whether or not he tried for the quick kill. I know I've actually been practicing it, and it's really not that hard. It just takes timing.
Yeah, it's pretty much like it's kind of the same principle as the sword climb you do on the overwall, but you have to do a timing to keep the sword out and kill the buffs. So
Puffs.
It's definitely an advanced strat you go for if you want to save time. I think it saves 5, 6, 7,
Emo's probably gonna
7 seconds.
head on into. Oh, falls down the hole. I wonder if we'll see a powder here then. Yeah, I figured
Probably.
after the little fall there, little tumble. We'll be heading into the Vitreous fight. Hopefully, it can be pretty clean here. We'll see what we can get.
By the way, since you said about the puffs for Argus, would you say it's basically some Reese's peanut butter puffs and some jelly? Considering Argus is a giant jelly.
Beautiful zero cycle from Emo there on Vidi. And I don't know. I don't know. I never thought about it. I guess I don't know. What are the options? Peanut butter or jelly? What? I want to pick an option.
I said because of the way the puffs are on Argus, and he is a giant puff. And he is a giant jelly. Would you consider the puffs to be Reese's peanut butter puffs, and he's the giant jelly for a peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
I don't know if I'm the person to ask it. Chat, you can hate me all you want. I have never eaten jelly in my entire life. On the list of foods I've never tasted, jelly is on there. I've had peanut butter sandwiches with bread and peanut butter. Never had jelly in my life. True story.
Alright,
Really?
Let's just pretend the puffs are just Captain Crunch, like the cereal, like this is the same color, I think.
Agreed. I think we can.
Yeah, I guess I've had some jams. I've had like a strawberry jam, but I've never had like your plain Jane like jelly. It just does not look appealing at all.
Basically, jelly is, jam is, in my opinion, jelly. So, I'll go with that either way. And besides that, I'm a fan of peanut butter with strawberry jam. On my peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Emo on her way up to Fraggle Rock, while JR is sitting through the longest cutscene in the game. You can see him mashing as much as he can to get out of this. And pulling out Quake. Do you think we'll see the Quake Dash?
I doubt it, honestly. Even it saves very little time, but you can go for it. You just need to use Quake and dash at the same time. But you have to do a certain movement after exiting the stairs. So
Looks like you're right, Sabin. Though neither of our runners so far are getting D-Rock blocked.
Yeah, I don't go for the Quake Dash either. It's just very finicky. It's really easy to lose frames, much more than it is easy to save them doing it. So I just don't even go for it ever.
Oh wow! And looks like Kohrek has basically made up all of its time lost from his Definaga Tower.
Yeah, really close race going into the Misery Mire there. Also pretty close race for our other two runners heading into Turtle Rock. Emo's only a couple rooms in, and JR is going to be heading into the beginning of the dungeon straight away.
They're using the Ether on this Mire 2 screen, so that's a strat you can do that kills instantly the Wizrobes and freezes the Popos and finish up using the Sword Beam. So it's a strat that can be done as well.
It's a strat that is a little less time lost, but it's also a very efficient strat if you are worried about losing more time on that screen. Ooh, and nice one cycle for Kohrek. Emo in the most dangerous room in the game, the Chomp Room. But she gets through nicely. Was it Emo that messed up the RNG so she won't have her fairy drop, or was that one of the other runners?
One of the run. I don't think it's Emo though, but we'll see. I don't think it's her.
Well, either way, she's got powder, so it really does help.
Yeah.
Although JR's got to be careful. He's at 2 hearts. And a 2-heart chomp room is not fun.
I got a bad RNG on the Chain Chomp's room here from John.
He's in a little bit of a tight spot here.
Yeah.
Sim with 2 hearts needs to be a little careful. Hopefully he can bait them. There you go. Got a nice little jump there from him, and can proceed onward.
2 hearts as well.
With his powder. Yeah, he's gonna be able to drop his powder on one of these anti-fairies straight away.
Yeah.
In pretty good shape. Ooh, Emo with that solid RNG on the double pokey. That was...
That's your favorite room, right?
Oh, that is my favorite room. True story. There's no room in this game that I've practiced less than, or more than that room. I've practiced every RNG of that. I have a spreadsheet of my room times just for all of the RNGs in the double pokey. It's like my favorite room in the game.
Yeah, because thinking that room has 16 RNG that can, right, 16 different RNG, so kind of have to react. This strats from every one of them.
I'm gonna make a list of things that Emo has made me proud of in this run. Double pokey room is one of them. The fence dash is one of them.
Laser skip, most likely. Though will she take the safety exit? Most likely not, but...
With how much health that Emo has, I would not be surprised to just see the straight attempt for it here.
Now, I do have to ask, do you happen to know what PB is?
For Emo?
Yeah.
Emo has a 133.35 with 2 blue balls, which is what the RNG for this run is as well.
So, if she does PB, it would be very tight. And going to the back door to get rid of Trinex.
There's very few strategies that I actually advocate runners to adopt more quickly, and just kind of sticking to a comfort zone. But I think the backdoor Trinex, at least for me, like when I started doing it, a year and a half ago, I find that it genuinely makes the fight much more predictable and easier to manage. So if you are a newer-ish runner and you get fairly comfortable with the Trinex fight, I do suggest attempting the backdoor strategy, because it's not only is it faster, but I do think it helps micromanage what can go wrong in the fight when executed properly. It's one of the few boss fights that I think is faster and easier to do a more advanced strat, so to speak.
Yeah, it's one of the boss. Yeah, for me myself, I always went back front door. I'm a front door Trinex.
Yeah, you're not the kind of guy that just shows up at his friend's house and walks in the back. You like to knock first. I get it, Steven. You're a polite Canadian. I know.
Exactly. So for me, it's kind of hard to switch strat because it's really late in the game, and I'm not comfortable with the back door. So I'm sticking with front door until I don't know.
Until 125.
Yeah, something like that. So.
And Emo is saying hi to Zelda. Now bye to Zelda. So see her in a few minutes, as he's off to get in his tower.
Serelepe with his sword up, gonna be heading into Turtle Rock, and Kohrek is only a few seconds behind him. These races are really, really close for how late in the game they are, so these are both shaping up to be really, really nice finishes.
Now JR going in to see Mean Joe Green, and we'll hopefully see him down real soon as well.
Yeah, that's the problem because you kill the red head. It's kind of easy, but the blue head can go like left and right. It's a lot of RNG that can happen. So sometimes you miss a shot, and yeah. If you go backdoor, that's never gonna happen for the most part.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. If you're able to execute it, I think it's a little more. It
Our
becomes a
top
little
racers
more.
are one screen apart now.
Thanks, Mean Joe.
Oh, hey, he is green.
Emo having a little bit of trouble not getting the D-pad to turn there before hook shouting over to the skull. Making it out there on the second try, though.
And both our top runners, Kohrek and Serelepe, are mere seconds apart. This just speaks to the skill of Kohrek and him overcoming a Definaga tower, while Serelepe overcoming technical difficulties. This shows, you know, this just speaks to the testament of both of their skills. And JR is now done with Fraggle Rock and is on his way to T-Tower. While Kohrek and Serelepe are just entering Fraggle Rock.
Coming up is Armos on ice, which is the same as the first boss, but it's on ice, so movement is kind of hard.
Both runners struggling a little bit in the roller room there. Kohrek actually grabbing the map, making sure he knows how to finish his way through the dungeon of Turtle the Rock Johnson, getting on through the end here. Serelepe making it out there. Kohrek choosing to mirror after taking the extra damage. Just playing a little safe before getting to the pokey.
Agreed. And Emo picking up the arrows.
Yeah, Emo had a little bit of trouble with the Armos on ice because she, by mistake, probably by mistake, moved on to the left, so which basically things went not as expected after that.
Serelepe got all of the good RNG there, got the fairy drop and the favorable RNG in the chomps. Kohrek kind of got the worst of both worlds, got no drops and also really unfortunate starting RNG on his chomp. So he needs to be a little careful here when he goes to powder him.
He did manage to get the quick, Kanishamari strats will hit both switches, so that did save him some time.
Oh, Emo going for the Blood Bunny.
Yeah, I like it, dude.
Now, what will her Cannonball Z room look like?
Heading into the gauntlet of Kefka's tower here. It's going to be my favorite part of the dungeon. Oh, Serelepe taking a death. Fortunately has the bottle fairy there to get that quick revive. Little Phoenix down action.
I think he's had that since the Thieves Town? And Kohrek is taking the lead back.
Emo dancing a little bit on the tram here. Trying to kill the last guard. There we go.
And JR is about to pick up his big key. I do not know if he takes red mail or not. I'm assuming not.
Alright, so using that powder there makes the fight a little bit off because there aren't they spawn at different time other than dashing all the way to the room. So the timing for the fire rod is different. Because
still a really nice cleanup there.
The
Got
first
5 fire rods, had the sword charged, finished it up on that last one. Really, really nice job there, leaving the
magic. There's also bombs and arrows on the 2 other pots as well. So
John getting a little unlucky with that spin there on Mimics 2. Having a little trouble getting the final hit there. Kind of getting trolled by the Mimic, the Demos, and the block right now. Fortunately, he's got 16 arrows at his disposal, so just lost a little bit of time and a couple of hearts there.
Agreed. I know I'm just a fan of sticking out the sword and just using the strats if I, really am worried about it. Now, hopefully Emo will not get the most dangerous glitch in the game. The GT despawn.
I heard the sound before, well before Emo went up the stairs, so it shouldn't have been an issue at all. And there's the sparks, so everything's good in the hood.
Basically, the glitch is once you go upstairs at the same frame as the door closes, there's no more enemies on the world, so you have to mirror out because you cannot kill stuff to open doors. So.
Agreed. I've only seen it once, and that was during a randomized race, and I hope to never see it again for any runner. And we're at Trollrun 2.
Yeah, and that boss is optional, so... But some people go for it. Because you can basically hover.
If you can hover, thank you very much. Hey, I can't get the timing down. I've tried. I have tried. I actually have decent button mashing skills, but I just can't get the timing down.
Saban and I will often send each other videos of us doing pointless but ridiculous hovers, just basically one-up each other as much as possible in any useless amount of hovering, I guess. No point to it, really, just besides for some giggles.
Now, you really want to do something surprising. Hover the first part of Turtle Rock.
Oh, pretty sure one's killed.
Really nice. Yeah, I've made it the whole way through Turtle Rock, including the torches room without the cane. It's really difficult, but I've made it. The lighting the torches with the fire rod while you're doing the hover is really difficult. You have to like select buffer and do it really quickly and fall and then do another one. It's really
the better question
really good
is
shape going into Ganon with the
really nice pace. Yeah, 132 dropping in. This has all the makings for a nice time.
Very true. And on our upper racing side, Kohrek is just about to enter G Tower, while Serelepe is right on his heels.
Emo taking a little bit of damage, but fortunately, got a really nice 2-in-1 there. Hopefully, we'll see as few warps as possible to kind of wrap this up.
Getting hit by the bats.
Yeah, can only bear to take one more hit from a bat for the rest of the fight. While John over here is working on the Moldorm fight.
Took the words right out of my mouth. And Serelepe opting to bonk the torch to get his key. I shall not make any
torch
puns
glitches
on that
a go
one.
for Emo. Just got to land 12 spins here and finish it up.
Is he on hit 2? Do you want to help count the spins, or do you
really nice timing on that fire rod there? Unfortunately, wasn't able to get the first hit on the cycle.
And JR is into Aga 2. And over on our top races side, both Serelepe and Kohrek are basically one room apart.
Should wrap it up for Emo. Right there it is, the final hit, and Emo will be cruising on over here with about a 134, between a 35 or a 45 and 50, it looks like. Or 40 and 45. Wow, off by
So
5
the
seconds.
champion of the Super NT
134.40.
is the champion of her race.
GG.
So we got our first finish here. A really excellent race. As Emo is crossing the finish line, JR is just going to be dropping in. And we still have a same room race over here on top with Serelepe and Kohrek.
Dropping into Armos at the same time. Wow. Those two have caught up perfectly of all their problems.
Yeah, we still have a race on the top screen, folks.
And I think both of their times are going to be amazingly good, despite any problems.
I'm curious to see which what safeties the other two opt to go for the rest of the run, if they want to. It looks like Serelepe's not. Yeah, see, we already have a route differentiation there. Kohrek's going to be grabbing the red mail and putting himself at a little bit of a time disadvantage.
Yes, but he does not have a fairy in a bottle, unlike Serelepe, who does. So I guess it's sort of worth it. I mean, they both do know where they are.
I don't think.
Serelepe does have powder and a bottled fairy.
The only other place that the route can really differ at this point would be if one of them pops into the ever-elusive Josh fairies, which are named after a pretty average runner who gets the fairies, you know? Yeah.
Hey, I know I'm a fan of just taking silvers, even without the butter sword, just for the Ganon fight.
Kohrek having a little bit of trouble with that BMOS getting in the way of his arrows. Picks up a 5 drop, and he'll have 9 heading into Gauntlet, which should be plenty.
And Serelepe on Ganon Ball Z. Just about to enter his Gauntlet.
And that's what I was saying. Could be where we see another route change, where Serelepe is going to be grabbing a fairy from the Josh room.
While Kohrek is entering his Ganon Ball Z fight.
I was correct. Serelepe doesn't have powder, so...
Wait, he has net in a bottle, but doesn't have powder?
I guess, yeah.
Does he have the mushroom?
Nope. It's, the spot is empty.
Wow. Wow.
JR getting his 12th hit on Ganon there. Really nicely done for him. Despite not coming out on top of the race, still a really, really good run for him. So give it up for JR in the chat. Really great race between him and Emo. That was really fun to watch from start to finish. They were really close, and, you know, within a dungeon whole time. So that was a really, really good race to get to see. Now we're going to see Kohrek and Serelepe both rolling into Lambo 2. Serelepe kind of going for a bit of a no EG strat here. Oh, gets the one cycle! Wow. Oh my god, he's my hero! Oh my god.
So basically what you do, you wait a little bit at the door to advance the origin.
Get them all to spawn all at the same time. Unfortunately, in no EG, you don't have the fire rod, but he was able to sneak that last fire rod shot to the right in, and that was beautiful.
That's actually a strat you do in your low percent as well.
And our top runners have caught up again. Are we gonna see a within seconds Ganon fight?
I hope so.
Do you want to see about pulling Emo or JR into here for a winner's interview?
I think we should wait until the end of this race because of how close it is. That way we can kind of see how this unfolds, just because of how close the runners are, and then we can just kind of pull them all in after we have a victor of this race as well, if that's cool.
Agreed. Agreed.
A little bit of low health on Kohrek here, but got powder, so that's fine.
It's powder. Basically, the second to last safety almost every runner drops. Last one, of course, being the sign card. And Kohrek entering his Trollorn 2 fight. And Serelepe is just behind him. This is going to come down to Aghanim 2 and Ganon to decide this race.
Impeccable fight for Serelepe there as well. He'll be hook shotting across, make his way to Aghanim 2 as well.
This has got to be the closest finish so far in the tournament, I think. Unless someone can correct me on that one.
That was almost 3-ish right there.
That was a double at least.
Getting good at Renchi though. Serelepe getting 3 hits, I think.
Just triple. It's the triple.
Oh, that was almost it.
They're both on their final hit for Aga 2.
Nice.
Correct.
They're both going in again at the same time.
Both get it at about the same time. Serelepe just, marginal, like fractions of a second ahead in his animation. So this, folks, it does not get any better than this. Gonna be dropping into Ganon at more or less the exact same time. So
gonna come down to warps and execution.
Agreed. And remember, chat, if you're enjoying this race, please remember to follow our runners. I'm sure someone can drop the link in chat.
Ooh, Kohrek missing the spin, putting himself at a slight disadvantage early, but Serelepe also not getting the 1-in-1, so we'll see how this unfolds here.
The rare Ganon facing Link. The rare Ganon teleport to face Link.
Serelepe finishing off the cycle. Kohrek actually getting another cycle, so Serelepe having a bit of advantage, excluding any warps that he may see here.
But Kohrek getting to tank damage on Ganon.
So hopefully Kohrek gets no warps, so we can get this frame for frame again, folks. So far, so good. All right, Serelepe heading into phase 4. Kohrek still good on his 0 warps. He's trying to make me happy. All right, so Kohrek got no warps. This is it, boys and girls. This is for everything that matters in the world.
It's the torch glitch both sides, so that's all up to execution now.
You're right. It's all coming down to execution.
Oh, don't get.
I think both runners are a little bit nervous, missing a little bit of their spin and off their timing on their fire rods a little bit. And obviously, Kohrek's trying really hard not to take a fire bat.
Correct.
You can tell if a runner is just nervous by their Ganon fight.
I've lost count trying to count both of them at the same time.
Agreed.
And
Kohrek gets the final hit first. It came down to
almost seconds later.
Spins on Ganon. Kohrek getting the 0 warps to catch back up that 1.5-ish he was behind, and he's going to finish with a 1:43.52. And Serelepe is going to finish with a 1:44.05.06.
Within 10 seconds of each other.
The final time split was 44.09. Fantastic race. What a fantastic finish for Ganon for Kohrek. Dropping in a little bit later, getting an extra cycle on Ganon, but getting no warps in phase 3 and having a slightly better phase 4, giving him the final edge to finish up before Serelepe crossed the finish line. Unfortunately for him, but this is that's the most exciting race I've commentated yet. So that was awesome.
I have to say this is probably the second most exciting. First one being where we literally had the first entire 20 minutes of the runners basically frame for frame being in the same room, and then catching back up to G-Tower as well.
All right, well, we got Emo in here. Victor,
GG, Emo.
First race. Yeah, congratulations on your win.
Congrats.
Hey, thank you. Holy crap.
It was a phenomenal race to get to watch between both of you.
I was
more or less in the same dungeon the whole time.
Well,
So I just saw the end of the top race, which was incredible. I had John's stream on kind of like small in the corner of my screen, and holy crap, dude, he was on like epic PB pace for so much of that run. He was like -2.5, and I had this weird thing going on where when I switched over from the practice hack on my SD2SNES to my 1.0 cart, my capture like reset when I power cycled my console. So I had weird audio delay for the entire run, and I didn't really notice until maybe like Hera, because it wasn't that big of a deal. But yeah, like all the little subtle audio cues that I used for like cold stare and all that kind of crap were just not working. And so yeah, I was so scared when I saw him 2.5 behind or ahead, and me like 2 and change behind after the cold stare incident. So yeah.
Overall, I think you should be very happy with your run. I think your Dark World was pretty solid across the board. Nothing to like really dramatically impacted your run in any one segment. It was pretty good the whole way. So it was nice.
There was a couple of rooms where you did stuff that it's not really at level, like after the Mimic 2 room, like the Spike room, you get the Blonde Bunny. I guess you took it for Blonde Bunny, but the Spike room where you dash and you have to move a certain path and dash all the way down without getting hit. That was actually impressive considering your skill level.
Yeah, I usually actually go for the version with the bow dash because it's swaggier, but given how tilted I was because of the audio thing, I decided to just take it easy.
Hey, I'm all about the swag. I'll get behind that any day of the week. So
I think we all go for swag whenever we can.
You got 2 more blue balls than you were supposed to. You're not supposed to get any of those. You got 2 of those.
Yeah, I'm aware.
But it was still nice. You were pretty close to your PB, leaving the Light World. So the Light World was pretty smooth.
Yeah, I think I was like was it like a minute 25 off my PB, which is not too bad. So my PB had missed torch glitch in it actually, so I would have been further behind if it weren't for that. But yeah, I mean the only thing that I can really like kick myself for is the audio thing and what it did to me on Cold Stare. That was the fight that like I was so lucky not to die there. That was the clinchiest fight in the run by far, and fortunately I cleaned it up. But yeah.
Yeah, the death to Cold Stare could be so unforgiving. So it was definitely relieving to see you make it out of there with I think either a half or 1.5 hearts. But that's plenty enough to get out. So
yeah, whatever it wasn't a lot. I can tell you that.
But yeah, anything else you'd like to say before we see if we can get Kohrek or Serelepe in here as well?
Not really. GG to my opponent who did PB. That's pretty rad. And yeah, thanks to you guys for commentating and all that jazz.
Yeah, no, thanks. It was great.
Problem.
It was great.
Not a problem.
And you got that
JRPB
40, which is better than TB Ham's PB, so that makes me happy because he's my arch nemesis in every way. So
sweet, happy to help with your.
Yeah, thank you. You're making the rivalry become more fierce.
Yeah, I'll gladly fuel vengeance anytime. So
that is the best answer you could have possibly responded with.
Agreed.
All right. Well, thanks, guys.
Yep. Thanks. Have a good night. Appreciate it.
So, you want to pull Kohrek in?
Yo, Kohrek.
GG, man.
On the
GG.
race, man.
Thank you. That was something else.
Oh, absolutely.
You two gave us an epic Ganon fight.
Yeah, I'm glad it came so close in the end, and obviously I'm happy for the win. But man, that I was like laughing playing for the first half of that. Like I just couldn't. I couldn't stop finding new ways to screw up. So it was pretty funny.
Yeah,
feeling.
definitely Moldorm gave you quite a bit of trouble there. Definitely could have been a little bit tilting, but fortunately you're able to get back in there and finish it up, and then just kind of move on from there. Like really from that point on, things seem to kind of improve and become much smoother, which was nice to see. Especially your late game. Your late game was looking really nice. So congrats on having a really nice late game. And especially the Ganon fight. You dropped into Ganon about a second and a half behind, and then got an extra cycle on phase 2 or phase 1. Phase 1, phase 2.
I did 2-2, so
Yeah. And then you got the 0 warps in phase 3, which kind of evened it out. And then you took the lead on the final phase with just slightly more accurate execution on the torches and the spins. So really well done. That is a difficult spot to come from behind at so late in the race. So congratulations, man.
Well, thank you. Yeah, this is actually my third NMG run. Didn't go as well as my second, but it was all right. You know, I did gold like 5 of these. It's not that hard when you only have 3 runs to gold a bunch of splits. But yeah, the second half was good. I was pretty happy from basically after pod. It was pretty good. Even pod.
Yeah, I saw your second run on that one. You really have improved, man.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a fun run, and I know my opponent had some technical issues in desert too, so it's really unfortunate for them. But I'm glad we were able to give a good race, and it was just a lot of fun, you know. And this tournament's just a lot of fun to watch and learn and play. So, and thank you guys for commentating too.
That was a pleasure. That was actually a very good race.
Yeah, that was the closest race I've ever commentated. So I definitely appreciate being able to have the opportunity to do it. So thanks, man. Well, congratulations. Do you have any final words before we wrap up here?
No, I think that's it. Just thanks for everybody out there watching, and yeah, thanks for commentating. And you know, lots of Link to the Past NMG tournament action here. So I know I'll be watching and playing one more. So it should be a lot of fun.
All right. Well, on that note, we've got one more race tonight that is about halfway done between Void and Space Cat. So if you're not already at Speed Gaming 2, make sure you guys scoot on over there and give some love to my boy Void and my girl Space Cat. So
and don't forget, remember to follow our runners for this amazing race. But all 4 of them put on for us.
All right. Thanks for having us, guys. Appreciate it, and have a good night.
Peace.
Until the Master Swords need to be drawn again, good night, all.